Series and win.
All right, well, we all know who the favorite on this show is now. I picked them to lose to the Phillies, so all right. Don't get too excited. All right, well, now let's move on to the important part of the show, what the show's basically about, and that is our chat room.
Absolutely.
And in the chat room, we use your viewer input and mix it with our ridiculous banter.
Because
And-
let's be honest, you probably know more than we do anyway.
Yeah, more than likely. But our first chat room topic for this episode, for this week, is who do you want to see the Bruins face in the first round? And our good old friend Kevin on Facebook said that he wants to see the Canadiens. Why not go for a team that we struggle against, and if we beat them, then we can take on anyone else? Well, I guess I agree with Kev.
Yeah.
I mean, you always kind of, I think as competitors in general, you want to take on the toughest competition right out of the gate and always face the toughest tests.
That's true. It would be nice, though, if they could get one round under their belts before they had to play the Canadiens, though, I think.
I agree with that. I don't necessarily want to see the Canadiens in the first round. They've struggled against the Canadiens all year. I understand that their last game against the Canadiens was unreal, unheard of. They got a 5-on-3 shorthanded goal. I mean,
Let's be honest, you're not going to see that again.
No, you're not going to see that.
Probably ever.
You're not going to see that very often. It's not going to happen in the playoffs, most likely. And I just think that there's matchup problems there. But one thing that did come out of that game that is good for Bruins fans is that they saw they can beat the Canadiens by not having to beat them up.
Yeah,
they can
exactly.
beat the Canadiens
They played
with
hockey.
the skill game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, and I think that'll be important in that series.
I absolutely agree.
But again, I don't want to see them in the first round. I'd rather see.
I don't want to see them at all.
I'd rather see maybe the Rangers. They're a tough team as well, and you don't want to see Lundqvist in the first round, but it's going to be tough either way. Really, I'd love to see the Sabres, but that's probably not going to happen.
That would be nice.
But I guess, it would be great for Boston. I'm sure they'd love to see Montreal in the first round, so I guess we'll go with it. We'll go with Kev.
Hey, it'd be great for TV.
It sure would. Ratings would be soaring through the roof.
Yep.
What's next in the chat room?
Well, next in the chat room, we have the question, how important is home court for the Celtics? And on Twitter, Jeff Green's Fans8 said, obviously not very. I mean, it's funny because the Celtics have not been playing very well at home lately. But it's going to be pretty important, especially with a team that's now half full of people who aren't exactly playoff tested. So, home court is home court. And in any sport, any series, any playoffs, you want to be on your home court.
That's true.
And we are not going to be on our home court if we face the Bulls. They're going to take first place. And that's hopefully, if we end up playing against the Heat, we will end up on our home court because I believe we're a half game ahead of them right now. And hopefully it stays that way. But the way we're playing lately, there are no guarantees.
I definitely agree. I think it's vital.
Yeah.
I think it's very important, especially Doc Rivers has said all season long that last year they went to the playoffs. They went in as a 4 seed, and yes, I know lots of fans are saying, we've seen this before. We saw this last year. They struggled. They dropped. They went in as a 4 seed. They didn't have home court advantage for those series.
That was a different team.
But the thing that was different is they went that far and had a different team, a defensive team, a stronger team, as you said. But what Doc Rivers has consistently outlined is that they got to the NBA Finals and they had a Game 7 away and they lost.
That's the reason that they're not NBA champions right now. Is
Agreed.
Because they didn't have home court in the finals.
I understand Perkins wasn't there, but there's a lot that can be said about playing on your home court that can lift guys up.
Yeah,
that
just the
otherwise
crowd. The
don't
crowd
bring
noise,
it.
the atmosphere, it gets intense, and it's sometimes what teams need, especially old veterans teams that can get tired.
And it's just going to be very, very difficult for them to get past a team like the Bulls, who are playing out of their minds right now. They're playing outstanding basketball.
Yeah, it's some of the best basketball I've seen in a while.
Agreed. Derrick Rose, an MVP candidate. And
the MVP.
I can't argue that there. I definitely agree with you in that aspect. but it's going to be very, very tough to get through that team. And think about it. We have Tom Thibodeau, who is a former Celtics assistant coach, coaching that Bulls team. He knows their weaknesses. He knows where they struggle. He knows where they like the ball. He knows what Paul Pierce likes. And he's a defensive coach, and he knows all these things about these players, and he knows them inside and out. And that's a dangerous thing.
That's true.
You don't want a
That's
defensive
very
coach
true.
knowing how to stop your star guys. It's not going to help in any way. It's just going to be more of a problem for this team, because if Tibbs can figure out a way to stop Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, it's going to be trouble. It's going to be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, but honestly, like I said, I don't see us passing the Bulls. I think the Bulls are going to have home court throughout, and that's just the way it's going to go. But I do believe that second seed is very important for us to keep, because I don't want the Heat to have home court. Earlier in the season, I would have been real confident going up against the Heat in any playoff series. But nowadays, not so much. Not as confident as I used to be.
Well, keeping on that topic and talking about the Bulls, since you have clearly stated that you do not believe that the Celtics will surpass the Bulls.
I don't.
So let's move on to our next chat room topic. And what we wanted to know next was, are the Bulls the best team in the East? And our good friend Jordan, not Michael Jordan, as some of you may think, it's our good friend Jordan, likes the Bulls but still has faith in the Celtics, saying, statistically, yes, but at the same time, you've got to realize that the C's were built to be a playoff team. Well, the C's were built to be a playoff team.
Would have been a great point about a month ago.
Absolutely. They were built to be a playoff team. That's the key word there. They're no longer built to be a playoff team, in my estimation. I know that someone on Sports Chat, I forget the name, I wish I could recall it right now, had called me out on being against this deal, and said that, the Celtics look like they've been a little bit better, but they haven't. As we've said earlier, they're not better. And they were the best team in the East. They were a playoff team.
Right.
They were all these things. They're not right now. They have a lot of different pieces, a lot of new pieces. They're not the same team that they used to be.
And let's be honest here. The way the Bulls are playing, had the Celtics kept their old team together, the Bulls still may have surpassed them. It is possible.
Agreed.
It would have been a close race. They may have surpassed them. But I would have been a lot more confident going up against the Bulls in the playoffs.
I agree with you.
I honestly have no confidence at all in what this team is going to do in the playoffs.
I really, unfortunately, I have to agree. The Bulls are the team to beat in the East, and
Absolutely.
That's just the all of it. They are the team to beat, and it's going to be a tough test for anyone to beat the Bulls team. That Bulls team. It's going to be tough for Miami. I don't see Miami being able to beat them.
Absolutely.
And I don't see Orlando being able to beat them. Those are your top 4 teams in the East, and I really do not see any of them being able to beat that Bulls team. They've grown, they've gelled, and Thibodeau, being the defensive coach that I said he was, found a way to get Carlos Boozer to play defense. So he's got everyone buying into that system.
That just goes
Lots
to
of people
show how
question
great
it.
he is.
Agreed. Lots of people questioned it when he got there.
Yep.
Lots of people didn't think that he would be able to keep things on track, be able to get things going, and take care of all these egos in the locker room, being a new coach that hadn't been a head coach before. But he's done an amazing job.
There's a lot to be said for learning under Doc Rivers, I think.
I definitely agree.
And
I agree there.
You know what they say about defense? Defense wins championships. So
I definitely think that's where it's going to end up with him going.
We'll see what the season brings.
All right, so moving on to our next chat topic.
The final question that we asked in the chat room was, how many dingers will Adrian Gonzalez hit this season? And via Facebook, Luke answered us 34. And Caitlin said 35. I completely disagree with both of them. I think 36. No. Seriously, though, somewhere between 30 and 35 sounds about right. I mean,
I agree.
it's always hard to predict how many home runs somebody's going to hit in a season, but he's a solid home run hitter, and, 30 to 35 is a solid number, so I'm going to go with 36. And just an FYI, if either Luke or Caitlin is right on their predictions, they will win a Sports Chat T-shirt.
Yes, they will, and I'm glad you said that. And we will get one of them a T-shirt if they're right, only if they're right. But for me, I think that I'm going to go with 38 home runs from Adrian Gonzalez.
That's bold.
because he was hitting 30 home runs on the regular in his old stadium, which was like playing on a different planet.
That's true.
It was a big ballpark and tough to get balls out. And Fenway's built for left-handed power hitters. He's a left-handed power hitter. I think he's going to drop a few into that bullpen, and he's going to pop a couple over that wall. He's going to scrape the wall a lot with doubles and such. But I definitely think that he's going to be able to get a lot of home runs. I know that the pitching is better in the American League. I know that it's tougher, but I still think that, you know, Adrian Gonzalez is going to do a pretty good job, and he's going to get some balls out of there, get some RBIs. And I'm thinking about 38. I don't want to go as far as 40, but 38 I think is.
I'll tell you what,
there.
if he hits 38, we'll get you a Sports Chat t-shirt.
Will we really?
We will.
And I'll wear it.
Proudly.
I'll wear it on the show.
Good.
Maybe I'll wear it. I don't know. Maybe I won't.
I would.
All right. I guess I will. Well, moving along to, as I always say, it's my favorite part because it's absolutely ridiculous, some of the stuff we get on here.
It certainly is.
We're moving to Twitter chatter. It's all about the Twitter chatter. And first, we're gonna start our Twitter chatter with a little tweet from your buddy over there. I think it's
it is.
He's made frequent appearances on the show.
He certainly has. This is actually his second appearance now, I believe. And our buddy Ron Artest had a great tweet for us the other day. Ron Artest tweeted, "I'm shocked. I was asleep and woke up with nipple piercings. What do I do ASAP?" Ron Artest, I'm going to tell you what you should do. You should think about sleeping somewhere different. Because if you're sleeping somewhere that allows you to wake up with nipple piercings that you didn't have before, you're not sleeping in the right places.
Well, I mean, you never know. You never know what's going on with him. He could have done it himself. He could be the one who...
This is true.
Ron Artest is a different kind of human being.
He certainly is. He's completely sane.
He's a different kind of guy. You know, he could be laying back and just popping them on
you know what? You're absolutely right. Ron Artest does seem like the kind of guy who maybe would do some sleepwalking and nipple piercing at the same time. So you're right.
But I mean, I'm glad he shared it with everyone.
No, yeah, it's vital information.
And speaking of sharing some strange things,
what do you got for us?
I have a little Twitter chatter from a Patriots linebacker, one of our own, acting a little different. And this is from Gary Guyton, and he tweeted, "Real moment. I just broke wind on an elevator and a woman walked on. LOL. Look at me sideways. LMAO. Embarrassed." Well, first of all, he's loving the LOL and the LMAOs in that tweet there. But thank you, Gary. I really needed to know about that. But I can only imagine getting on an elevator with big old Gary Guyton standing there, just letting one fly.
Here's what confuses me. In the tweet, he says that he was embarrassed. If you're embarrassed about something, why put it on Twitter? That's my question.
That's a very good point. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe he just really wanted to get that out there.
Yeah.
He wanted to share something with everybody. That's what Twitter's all about.
Some people are proud of those kinds of things.
Don't hate on the Twitter.
I'm not. I'm just asking questions.
All right, well, I'm just saying.
That's what we get paid to do.
Speaking of Twitter, you guys can reach us as all these other folks did, as Jordan, not Michael Jordan, did. Everyone can reach us via Twitter, via Facebook, and we all know where those places are. You should know by now. But once again, we'll tell you. You can find us on Facebook if you search Sports Chat. And again, that A is an @ sign. That's Sports Chat. And you can find us on Twitter at WA Sports Chat, and find us on YouTube. Every episode is there on WA Sports Chat. And that's where you will find us. And please, just come on, give us your opinions. Give us what you think. We'll throw it on the show. We'll make fun of you.
Yeah, the more opinions you give us, the better the show gets. Thank you, Ron Artest.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary Guyton.
But that's all we have for you tonight. So thank you very much for watching the show. I hope you had a good time, and I know we did.
And quite frankly, if you're not down with that, then we've got 2 words for you. Sports Chat.